If there are, I request Akheel and Prof to cite few verses of the Holy Ghost.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد الذين كفروا
As we are all aware that today the chairman of our Vishal Muslim municipality passed away. So let us have 2 minutes silence as a condolence for the departed soul. Thank you. He was alumnus of our college. He did BCom in our college. They were 1984 to 87. You know, it was all very important. Now, the welcome address and the introduction of the chief guest, that's myself. Uh, Most respected dignitaries on the dais, our secretary and correspondent, and today's chief guest, Dr. Syed Ahmed, the vice chancellors of 2 universities, and dear colleagues. At the outset, we are very much grateful to the chief guest today that he has accepted our invitation within a short notice, and he traveled along from Mysore, and he is with us to advise and to give valuable suggestions. I welcome all my colleagues for their constant support in all the academic endeavors in our college. The college, Alhamdulillah, this is the diamond jubilee. The college is 60-year-old. It is a 68th year. We are very fortunate. And we have completed 3 night cycles first cycle we got B double plus, in the second cycle we got A, and the third cycle we got A plus, narrowed list for A double plus. It is only because of the fullest cooperation we had from both sides. One is from the management and another is from the staff members. It is the everyone's contribution. It is not one show. It is not one man show. Nobody single person can do this. So I'm very happy that our staff members are very dedicated and they are ready to take any challenge. And just we were discussing with the management, the chief has said, when yesterday night I have arrived, I have not had that about your college. Now, just before entrance here, he said, you are capable of A double plus. Anyhow, I have seen you just within half an hour. He has gone to various institutions as an act chairman, and he just visited our college by seeing our infrastructure and all the performance of the particularly the Department of Chemistry and Zoology. We were very happy, and basically he is for the chemistry. I take this opportunity to just his profile is very long, so I will just give you a quote to the net. You can just see how he has performed. He got retired in 2016 and still he is active. He has worked in two universities as Vice Chancellor. To his credit, he has been, basically he is from the University of Mysore. He was the Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, University of Mysore, Karnataka, even at present. He was the Vice Chancellor of Yenepoya University, Mangalore, Karnataka in 2008 to 2010. And he was the chairman for Prof Studies in Chemistry. He was the director and he was the chairman for Prof Studies in Polymer Science. He was the chairman Department of Studies in Chemistry, University of Mysore, Karnataka. And major academic and research positions held abroad. He was the visiting professor in the University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur. He was the research engineer, Center for Nuclear Studies. He was a visiting scientist in the Department of Physics, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He was a professor at the Department of Chemistry, University of Mysore, 1994. Till now, he is continuing that. He was the leader, and very important thing is he has visited so many countries and held so many positions. And we are very fortunate that last month we have attended myself and the correspondent has attended a conference at Annavi College, Bangalore, where he gave a very wonderful talk. Our secretary was very much inspired. Soon after the talk was over, I was just sitting up beside me. He said, why not we invite him and give a motivational talk to his staff members? Immediately he told. So I'm just thinking of the opportunity, and today we are very fortunate enough, a good leader, a good researcher, a good academician, and after all, a good human being. So he is very young when compared to us, and he is very active. From morning, he is having so many programs. I think he gives the college, he will be quite engaged. So I am very much thankful to you, sir, for your dedication and for your wonderful thought and for your motivational speech. We have already three discussions, and now I don't want to waste much of our time. So I call humbly request our secretary and correspondent to kindly honor the chief guest. Now it is the time that our chief guest will come to the dais and will just start his lecture. Thank you.
Distinguished Secretary and the correspondent of this esteemed college, Mr. Abraham, esteemed Principal of this college, Mr. Syed, dignitaries of the areas, especially minorities, members of the college, gentlemen, these are the ladies here. बात करनी मुझे मुश्किल कभी ऐसी बना बात करनी मुझे मुश्किल कभी ऐसी बनाती जैसी अब है तेरी महफिल कभी ऐसी बनाती देख गया नशीन के कौन आज तेरा सब हो करा देर करा मुझे कभी ऐसी At the outset, let me start with a quotation: "All is holy where devotion meets." It is here in this college I find the perfect amalgamation of dedication, devotion, and sincerity, which has led this college to the high horizons and including the highest teams. But nevertheless, let me hasten to add, सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं, सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं, इश्क के इम्तिहान और भी हैं, तो शामीन है परवाज़ काम जरा तेरे सामने आसान और भी। For this preamble, let me tell you, I try to trace the little of the recent past history. And maybe the last quarter of the 20th century after this, the history after 50 years, what has been happening and what has happened. We can corporate as a concept and globalization as philosophy. India has taken a long lead to see that it surpassed even a double-digit mark whenever we are talking of the gross domestic produce. And we have taken leaves in almost all the disciplines of life. In this context, it is desirable as to what had happened for such a remarkable that advancement that took place in the last decade of the 20th century, the first decade of the 21st century, is nothing but the LPG concept which came in during the time of December, wherein you will see the typical socialistic pattern of the government slightly had a shift in the paradigm to what we call it as a mini corporate cum social aspect or sociological aspect in the whole of the governance of the country. Manmohan Singh was either the finance minister and he just brought in what we call it as a liberalization, globalization and privatization. And there afterwards you will see that there has been a surging in the industrial activities and India could take a gallop in large in a different disciplines. In this context, I would like to just give three international scenarios or three scenarios. One happens to be international, second to be the regional Asian, and third is the India. And three challenges that are coming, and hopefully to give the solution as to how to go about. And when I'm just talking about the reimaging of 2020 NEP, that is not a big problem, and we can just talk about it, and I will come to that later. But you must know the background. Why you are supposed to know the background? You will not just try to understand that any of this activity is just an exercise, and it will be a task. Most of the times it will be a burden on the part of an individual and a faculty member, a student, and also the institute. Not at all. It is a very good exercise that has been imposed upon us, and rather it is better to accept it wholeheartedly and see that it ultimately ends up in a big institution. In 1993, American scientists wrote a paper exactly 20 years after, in 1973, when an oil minister in Saudi Arabia, backed up with earlier the deceased king, raised the petrol prices from $1.5 to $2 to ultimately $18. Those are the people who are little Not gold has been like at least even like principle, they will remember. There was so much of the crisis all over the world, the economic crisis, the major countries started threatening it with all that big history, that threats. And ultimately they succeeded and they did not go even an inch as far as the crisis is concerned. That was the resurgence of Islam in the whole world. Because economic stability is absolutely important for political developments and at the same time we do to push into the sociological aspect of any country. 20 years later, Samuel Huntington, a political scientist, wrote one paper as a part of his thesis, making of a new world order, the clash of the civilization and making of a new world order. That was in response to the Francis Fukuyama's end of the planet and the last man. That was one paper which just describes in a simple name. If you take the whole of this map of the world and place it on a table, you will see that there is like a parallel economy. You will see on one side you will have the Western civilization which continue to have a grip over us. And you will see that, and the second is the in parallel other side, you will see that the Confucian civilization, or which you call it as the Chinese civilization, which is coming in a big way and it is threatened to be the superpower of the world. And the third one is the resurgence of Islamic power, and the fourth one is the resurgence of India as the economic as well as the political power of the world. In this context, you will see that if you just take into consideration the PPP, purchase power parity not constant because market, you will see that even the America, which is now, we can just compete within another couple of years. Samuel Huntington clearly mentioned that the West will have a grip over the world for another couple of years, but nevertheless, the resurgence of these three powers, namely the Confucian Chinese civilization, Islamic resurgence, and they will see the India as an economic power. And all of you know that India is the fifth economic power, as far as the volume is concerned, it is third. And you will see that India is a country not to take it for granted. And you are proud to be the citizens of this country. And naturally, we will have to see how this country can become a developed. Because we are in the, what we call it as a edge, neither we are the developed country nor the developing country. And in this context, we will see the developing countries will be afraid of us to join us because of the fear of the developed countries, and developed countries will have to isolate us and we have to walk alone. And in this context, every citizen of this country has to work and work hard to see how we can just take our country to the higher heights. I'm just telling the international, I'll come to that later what I'm coming to. And in this context, you will see that Asian civilization and how it is impact on the Asia, the continent. You will see that there are two big powers in the whole of Asia. One is China and Japan. Japan is also not such a big problem to us because it has lost its war and they will have a treaty with America, and they cannot construct a nuclear plant, or they can pick up the independent army and all. Only when you think of only the competition in the business, it is only the China which will be a great threat to us, and it is indeed India, which has been established. Shall we talk about this? Well, coming to the world, then you are coming to the Asia, now let us come into the India. We have already celebrated 78th Independence Day. So that when India got independence, it left us with a 33 crore population rather than see the 30 crore starving, stricken subjects. That means to say, starving, stricken subject have used this phrase specifically that the poverty was more than 96% at that time. When I am talking of 96, poverty is not below the poverty line. When I am talking of below the poverty line, that means to say you do not have to meal a day, forget about the shelter, forget about any access to education. The first vote on account, because we got in independence in 1947, the month of August. So the first of the vote on account was presented to the Indian finance officer who was from Andhra Pradesh, checking, and who presented for 179.5 crores with a fiscal deficit of 240 crores. That means to say, per person, per mark was less than 5 rupees. That was the stage. Later, about 30 or 40 years later, you will see that Pranab Mukherjee, the former president, But former finance minister during the time of Manmohan Singh was a prime minister. He presented 1 billion crore, and now we are 1.4 billion crore. With 1.4 billion crore budget also, not to talk about the last 10 years and before that, I give the statistics, two-thirds of the people were above the poverty line and one-third were still below the poverty line. One-third of this below the poverty line means to say, one-third of the population refers to that it is more than about 44 crores or 440 million, which is equivalent to almost the population of America, still below the poverty line. I hope you understand. So, to bring almost two-thirds of the population above the poverty line, India has taken 78 years. And to bring again remaining one-third of the population, if you take the linear scale, it will require another 35 to 40 years. Can we take this now? Shall we wait for 40 years to update this one? So you need to have the money. Money. Whereas the money to just feed 440 million people to just see that they should be elevated from below poverty line to above the poverty line. We do not have so much of the resources. When you are talking of the industrial economy, you are talking of the technological driven economy, when you are talking of the information driven economy, these are all called the lateral economies. That means they are slowly driven industry. But in the lateral economy, with the linear scale, it will take 40 years to complete this. Now we have what we call it as the knowledge-driven economy. The 21st century, we talk about the knowledge-driven economy. We are everyone we call it the knowledge economy, and everyone we are talking of the knowledge society. We are talking of the knowledge hub, and this is the vertical economy. Are there the people from the economics department? I hope you understand the vertical and the lateral economies. So now, if you are talking of this vertical economy, what does it mean? I'll give a simple example to say what is a knowledge-driven economy, wherein if you call it as a vertical economy, wherein you get a lot of money. I'll take a simple example, and I hope you understand. So everyone cleans your house once in 6 months or once in a year, everything completely. And whatever the junk will just throw it, but you will find about 20 kilos of iron, waste iron. Will you throw it? Honestly, you know. You just keep this and give it to a scrap merchant. He will purchase you from this scrap iron at a rate of 15 rupees per kilo. You will be happy that you got 30 per 300 rupees, which you were supposed to throw. But the person who has purchased the 300 rupees, do you think that he is a fool to purchase the scrap which was wanted to throw? No. He has got some knowledge that he will just assault that iron into big iron, stainless iron, and another. Some he will sell it for 20 rupees, some he will sell it for 25 rupees, some he will sell it for 40 rupees. So he will get some profit. And the person whom he is going to sell, do you think that he is a fool to purchase that? No, he will just collect it and assault it and make it to the nuggets, and he will sell it for 200 rupees per kilo. And there is another one person who just tries to take this big iron or whatever the iron, and he will add a copper to it, convert it to steel and make it at 400 rupees a kilo. I'm just giving an example, don't go with that. But there is another one person who is come, maybe from the chemistry department from this Hakim college. They will say, no, sir, we'll add some more, other like zirconium and other, this one, make it a spring start and sell it for 1,000 or 5,000 rupees a kilo. But a crazy fellow like me comes from Mysore and he says, no, I will convert this all the iron into nanoparticles and sell it for about 15,000 or 1.5 lakh rupees a kilo. So you will start it with 20 rupees or 300 rupees investment, assuming that 19 kgs was the wastage that you have generated during various stages of synthesis, but you are selling it at the rate of 1.5 lakh rupees or 15,000 or 50,000 per kilo with nanoparticles of iron. This is called the knowledge economy. a sudden lot of money that is coming. And it is for this reason, the whole of India, they started becoming it because the new concepts came in the back end of the 20th century. Talk of any discipline, you will see that the new concepts, new ideas came. You are talking of the conducting polymers, the insulator polymers became conducting, it was possible, the no matter was there. You are talking about superconductors, you are talking of any field, including in the management field. You will see that there was where the conceptual nomenclature was changed. For example, second-hand cars is no more called as a second-hand car, they are called pre-owned cars. Their concept of the dependency in independence. Then the concept of interdependence came. So you will see a lot of changes, including when you are talking of the political science, when you are talking of the constitution, the concept of equality is there, but the concept of equity was not there. Equity is the justice. That concept of equity also came in the last quarter of the 20th century. So in this all lines, you will see that if you want to be a knowledge, a country which is driven by knowledge, you require a lot of research to be carried out. I hope you understand how I'm just coming from the whole of the background. What is the research refers to means when I said difference between the teaching and the research. Teaching is the dissipation of the already existing knowledge, but when you are talking of the research to generate new information and new knowledge, this is exactly what is required. And that's why NEP 2022, the hallmark of that one, not to talk about the negative aspect which I can discuss in any time, and I also circulated that when I come to Bangalore. It is to be rejected, that's a different thing. But the good points I'm talking about in NEP 22 because reimaging NEP 22 is my talk. In this context, you will see that the two hallmarks of NEP 22 is innovation and nurture. What is an innovation and how it is different from the invention and how it is different from the discovery. Discovery is already that is existing and you are just trying to put the effort to knowing. For example, discovery of India. You are talking of discovery of America by Columbus. It doesn't mean that we just created the America. Because they were found, even Columbus flew to the India. These are not the discoveries. But whereas the electricity, when you are talking of Thomas Edison, it is an invention. But different depending upon the discovery and the invention are different, and now you are coming with a new concept for innovation. Any people from the management group? Commerce management group, yeah. 3M group is one of the most international group that everyone knows about it. They have given a definition of innovation. When you are talking of an innovation, innovation refers to nothing but a creativity plus action. When you are talking of the creativity plus action, you will see that creativity, what is a creativity? Creativity is a mental process. There are about 60 to 70,000 mental processes taking place in the person in the whole day, but everyone cannot be creative. But you will find that there will be some idea, a concept, or something, a mental process which will be different, or which will be unique, or which is novel when compared to the routine type of. This is what we call it as creativity. But creativity is a, please remember, it is a virtual. Innovation says that whenever you are talking of creativity, it is a what you call it as mental process plus action. How do you define an action? You should not remain a mental process or a virtual to remain in your mind. You have to transfer it in form of a design, or a device, or a program, or a product. And further they will go, and they have 3M group that introduce or incorporate a new concept called inventor. Inventor refers to that you are not only to innovate, but also you will have to transfer it into a program or a product or a design or a device, and ultimately you have to sell it. That means to say your creativity should be transferred into action. That means to say the knowledge assets has to be transferred into the what we call it as a economic asset via technology. For example, the zoology department or doing. They have designed something, they are going to the field, they are trying to just establish it, and at the same time you will see that Their ideas are sold in the form of the for cultural critics, and that is what exactly what we call it as a transformation of knowledge asset to economic asset via technology. This is what we are supposed to do. And it is for that reason, every NAC committee will come and ask me, okay, your papers, what we have done. It is nothing but your job is not only to dissipate knowledge as a teacher, but as a researcher, you have to generate the knowledge. This is most important. And as far as the routine aspect, what to do, what not to do, how to make the records and all, you are already undergone this one, you are there, the teachers who are going to tell. I'm going to tell the philosophy of the concept. In this context, you will see that it has arisen three challenges. And the three challenges are knowledge, globalization, and change. Please remember, these are considered to be the challenges of 21st century. I have been telling it and have told you number of the platforms. These were the challenges even during the NEP of Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. During whenever you are talking of Alahi Riyasat, when you wanted to establish in Medina Munawwara, Al-Ijaz, what we call it in earlier terminology, this was the first thing which you will see that it was the three challenges you will see. First, I'll take knowledge. And since you all people, I want to just go that what we are going to do the exercise, it has been done already because the established documents 1450 years ago. It is not a new thing which we are doing it now. When you are talking of knowledge, you are talking of intel. I am sure everyone are aware of it that you have the Quran, which consists of 6,666 verses. And if you want to classify it to the further aspect, you will say 144 chapters are there. And you will see that the name of Allah or Asma Husna, do you know how many times it has occurred in the Quran? The name of Allah in 6,666 verses or 114 chapters. How many times the Asma Husna, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the basic ilm. The Rabb is nothing but Allah again. Different manifestations if you are taking. Which are the one? It is more than 2,000, around 2,700 times, 2,600 something like that. Around 2,700 times it has occurred. Do you know the which is the which has repeated number of times here in a different formats? It is ill. More than 860 times, not exactly, I don't remember the number, it is more than 860 times it has repeated in the Quran. When you compare to the Torah, you compare to the Injil, of course I am not going to compare it to Zabur because it is not a book of Sharia. It was only the, what we call it as Hamdosana. I will compare to the Torah and Injil, and you will see that there are not so much of information about the ilm. Though there are, I don't say no. But the very quality of this Quran, which is just the Vahdaniyat of Qur'an Ta'ala, and the second aspect is testing on the ilm, clearly manifest that there are nothing to do with the Dunyai ulum or Dini ulum. Because it was loose conspiracy to mislead the community and to see that we should be away from the Quran. In Quran there is nothing called Dini ulum or Dunyai ulum. Every ulum is a Dini ulum. And whenever you are talking of a knowledge, there are two categories which you have to deal with. Al-ulum al-aqliya, al-ulum al-naqliya. When you are talking of al-ulum al-naqliya, you are talking about the legislative verses. Wherein you will see that we call it as a Sharia. We talk of the jurisprudence, we talk of the fiqh, we talk of philosophy, everything what is halal and what is haram, everything has been defining that one legislative verses. And in this concept, what you are talking of, and you will see 250, it also whatever you are talking of a riba, sood, and whatever you are talking of a pencil which is haram, except wine. Everything it has been there already with all the other parameters in a way, and the same thing is only institutionalized in the last. Everything has been there. So al-ulum al-ilm is now classified into two types: al-ulum al-naqliya, al-ulum al-aqliya. When you are talking of al-ulum al-aqliya, you have all your botany, zoology, astronomy, astrology, geography, geology, every subject where you require that your research or your start thinking. And it is in this context you will see that this is very important aspect that you have to consider. Not to go much into the detail, there are a number of dozens of verses, but I will just try to attract your attention only to one particular verse, which is a few verses in the penultimate, this one into chapter Ashar. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضرب للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. You see, never in the history of mankind, any of the religious book talks about, what don't you understand? Tafakkarun, why don't you think? When you are talking of law anzalna hadha al-Quran ala jabalin, it is just a manifest the importance of the Quran. We have descended on the mountains and they started shivering it. Here in Quran, a metaphor has been used because whenever you are talking of the mountains, they are not living beings. Of course, there is a trace of life is there, but they are not living beings. How can they shiver? It is a metaphor that has to be used to see that such mighty things cannot withstand the power. And it is only the insan. That's why you have been given the title of Ashraful Makhluqat, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. You have been given the title only to see that you have understood the whole things, to understand the Quran, to read the Quran, to understand the Quran, to think the Quran, to discuss the Quran, يَتَفَكَّرُونَ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ يَعْقِلُونَ. These are being repeated number of times. So now we will come across this one. And now we will see the whole little of the composition of the whole of the verses. When I'm talking of 6,666 verses, please remember the whole of Quran is a perfect embodiment of the history of the mankind. It starts from the Adam alayhi salam and before that, and it goes up till the Yusuf alayhi salam, and also it indicates for the future also. The best example could be As-Saman wa Tariq wa Ma'arak wa Tariq wa Najm wa Saqib. You might tell us you are talking of the rocking star which has been discovered recently, a rocking star it is called. And it has been mentioned in the Quran 1450 years ago. So what I am trying to impress upon you is this everything is there in the Quran. We have to take an impetus, we have to take an inspiration, and we have to get motivated by reading, understanding, and implementing Quran in our daily lives. That's what I want to talk about. It should not be simply right. So now we will just see in comparison to 450 verses, which I call it as the legislative verses. Now we are talking of a ulum al-naqliya, which is 450. What about the ulum al-naqliya and how many times it has been described in the Quran? More than 750 verses talk about the ulum al-naqliya, science. And this is not this one, since all of you are publishing paper, this was published in Nature in 1974. I'm not simply correlating some of the ordinary people who have written. This was published in Nature. More than 750 verses talk about science in Quran. About 1,400 verses talks about the management of emotions, management of resources, management of relationship. Everything has been described. In contrast, we give so much of importance to Ramzan, am I right? We give so much of importance to Rajshri, isn't it? Do you know how many verses the whole of the Quran, 6,666 verses devotes to the Ramzan? Anybody? Only 5 verses. And that is Surah Al-Baqarah, only 81 to 25. Even that also, about the 5. The first verse talks about the history. हमने आपको रोजे फर्ज किए गए थे जैसे पहले हम पर फर्ज किए गए थे. So out of 5 verses, one talks about the history, only the 4 verses about the Ramzan, and only 3 verses about it. So what does it mean? I have given you references talking about the number of the verses it has, number of the chapters it has. And now I am coming back to this composition of how many verses it is there for Ramzan, how many there for Hajj, and how many for science, and how many for management. Is it not about beauty to glory? And now this is about the knowledge which are not going to buy hope because given a textbook. Don't do much. Say do what your teachers will go on till 10 o'clock in the night also. Okay, now this is about the knowledge. They are not go much into the details. Now we will come up, of course, when you are talking of globalization. The first challenge is the knowledge. And you are talking about the knowledge. So there has been a shift in the paradigm. And when talking of the paradigm is the framework. From agriculture-driven economy to industrial-driven economy to the technology-driven economy to information-driven economy. Now we have knowledge-driven economy, and I have given the background what is knowledge-driven economy. It is not a rocket science. Simple example I have given and explained. I have also explained the knowledge in terms of what is Quran speaks about. And the Quran also speaks about the Kuntum Uprajatulina Sita Maruna Bilmanu Yatadam It doesn't mean that you are just going and asking them to go for the prayers and all. Please understand, Hukukul law is the least of it which you can get the forgiveness also from the God, but not for Hukukul Libad. Not for Akhlaqiyat. The Quran, the whole of the Quranic doctrine speaks about Hukukul Libad. Hukukul law is the one which you want to make it discipline and to just show your obedience, show your faithfulness, show your sincerity to the Almighty that you are one and you are coming and surrendering before Him. That's all. And you are doing it for a person. For example, if after 5 times in prayer, do you think I am going to do any service to you? I am doing service to myself because it's the first. Hukukul law is different to Hukukul Ibad. Now we have come to the stage and wherein you will see the Hukukul Ibad, and when you are talking of this one, you will see that Hukukul Ibad refers to that how you are going to have your relationship, how you are going to have your behavior, how you are going to represent yourself in the context of the society, how you are going to present yourself as a citizen of the country. All these aspects comes under Hukukul Ibad, which are not far relevant, which you have to do it as per the rules and as per the norms, as per the even whatever the implementation that has been done with the respective society or respective country. Now you are just on you are the best, you will say fine, every Jamaat makes an implementation, but it talks about the quality. When you are talking of the knowledge, you are talking of the quality. What is quality? Anybody can tell me the same question I had asked even in Bangalore. Can anybody tell me what is quality? Because you are talking of an excellence. When you are talking of an excellence, then it is about, you will see that excellence is the one when you are talking, you have to talk about the perfection. When you have to talk about the perfection, you have to talk about the three manifestations of the God. What are the three manifestations of the God? The three manifestations of the God: Jalal, Jamal, and Kamal. When you are talking of the Kamal, you are talking of the perfection. When you are talking of the perfection, you are talking of the excellence. God alone is perfect. But when you chase for excellence, perfection, you can achieve excellence. But if you want to just achieve excellence, which you are talking of, you want to go A2+ and you want higher grades, that means you have to achieve excellence. To achieve excellence, what is the first step? What is the first step to achieve excellence? Quality. Then what is quality? Quality is anything, a system which adopts change in the quality. Quality is any system which adopts change is quality. When you are talking of the quality, you are talking of the system. What is the system? See, once if you don't understand all this, then you are nagged everything, including you being a minority economy, many it is run by a Muslims, and what the Quran speaks about, you see the perfect correlation going on. What is a system? A system is one which consists of the subsystems, or constituents, or organs with a defined functions. Am I right? We eat through the eyes. We hear from the nose. All are sleeping or what? No. Lead it through the nose now. That's why the body is a system. We eat through the only mouth. We inhale through the nose. We see from the eyes. It has got a defined function. When you are talking of this system will have these all organs with a defined function, but they are in a dynamic equilibrium. What do you mean in a dynamic equilibrium? If something happens to the nose, the whole body gets a temperature. That means to say there is an equilibrium. But the equilibrium is a dynamic equilibrium. If you see that this is getting this one, your temperature also subsides. So these all things are perfect in a system when we are talking of it. And the first one we are talking of knowledge and we are talking of now is quality. The quality is that now there is a shift in the paradigm. You have the quality, you have the quality assurance, quality control and quality assurance. First was the quality. Quality is a perishable commodity. When we are talking about quality, which is a perishable commodity, you will see that you have the quality control, which is a curative aspect. That means the product has been already produced, and you know to identify which is a good television or bad television that identify this is what we call it as a curative. Now we are going for a quality assurance. Quality assurance refers to that it is a preventive measure. You might have seen the advertisements of the institution, you live your while you turn into an engineer. It is an assurance given by the college authorities to the parents and to the society to see if we are going to train your boy or your boy in such a way that you are going to produce, which is a perfect harmony with the society. At the same time, our promises and deliverables will be remaining done. So when you are talking of this system to produce knowledge, then what are the other requirements? The other requirements who are coming in the first of the two other requirements is what we call it as a change. Change will not guarantee your progress. Change will not guarantee your progress, but if you want progress, change is inevitable. And the concept of the change itself is dynamics, but the dynamics of the change and the condition with which it has been explained in the Quran, the condition is marvelous. I have brought your attention to chapter 13, Surah, and verse 11, the middle portion of it. हम उस कौम की हालत नहीं बदलते जिसको न हो ख्याल तो ये बदलने. What is this? It's a condition. It is applicable to the individual. It is applicable to a group. It will applicable to a clan. It will applicable to a society. It is applicable to a nation. You have to change. This type of the change is planned by the bank. You used to simply go to know what is the NEP when you are talking about the NEP. It will say it is nothing but an ISO organization. Indian Standard Organization, Standard Organization. You must know that also. Was I already talking about the quality of the perishable commodity? This was first understood by the Japanese. Japanese, after the Second World War, I hope everyone knows after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6th and 9th of August, the whole Japan surrendered to the American and they started listing. You know, they will be treaty. So if you lose the war, there will be treaty. These are the conditions that you are looking for Japanese law. They all accepted simply. They said yes, they gave to the middle class. The education system of the Japan will be controlled by America. They said no. They insisted. Then I said we are ready to go for the war from Bhutan. Unfortunately, we the Muslims with that much of this one, we have forgotten our own teachings, what was there inside. Making a comparison between the earlier period of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and everyone knows about it. After the Hijrat and the Falahi Riyasat and the welfare state was established, within 60 years, 2/3 of wheat and gold was under the control of Islam. When I am talking of the deen and world, the whole three continents were known: Asia, Africa, and Europe. Other continents were not known. 2/3 of deen and world was under the control within such a span of time. And please remember, this 60 years is not merely by bringing a social order, but at the same time, the advancement of the science and technology, which played a determined role to bring all these countries. Of course, social order was the most important. And social order, when you are talking about it, was also making the 50% of the fairer population, we call it as a movement, which we call it as an empowerment of women, was brought by Islam. The first woman to offer the salam to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was Hazrat Hubayra, a lady. And you will see that Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha was the one who is considered to be an intellectual par excellence. And you will see that Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha led a war in the Yaman. So you will see that the empowerment of women, not to talk about the distribution of the wealth, but all aspects, including in the marriage aspect of it. I'm not to go into details about the various ahadith where we are talking about that the concern of the woman is absolutely important. Once if a woman went to this one, if my father did not ask me, I has got my marriage, I wrote up. Not immediately said the whole of this one was resolved. That was an empowerment to bring the social order, but this social order was backed up with science and technology. The impulse that Muslims found was from the Quran because there are 750 verses. And to make it very clear about it, how important it was. If you are talking of the present day science, wherein you will see the genome mapping is one of the great science, where still the scientists are trying to understand in depth. During the time of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he got his Nabuwa at the age of 40 years, during that time, one of the important intriguing science was embryology. Theory of embryology was one of the most important. How the embryo is formed. When you are talking of an embryo, please remember at that time there were no analytical tools like microscope or anything. And how the small embryo zygote is formed was in such a minuscule aspect as micro that there were no analytical tools. At that time, the Greek psychology or Greek philosophy, please remember I am using the word philosophy because the word science has been used only for the past 700 to 800 years. Before that, science was not there, it was called philosophy. What is philosophy? I am just telling you so that you are supposed to know, you are the teachers, you will have to discipline. When you are talking of the science stands on two pillars. One is observation and second is knowledge. What is observation? Again, it stands on two small pillars. One is a controlled observation and the other is a complex observation. What is a controlled observation is nothing but experiment, and what is a complex observation is the philosophy. You are just that is the philosophers of the Greek or the Hellenistic period. They said embryo is formed from the menstrual blood and semen acts as a catalyst. Look at the Quran. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. The first 5 verses. In that, the Quran there is another because that's the color. Not to talk about the humility, not to talk about the praise of Allah and everything in the name of Allah. The Quran there is another because that's the color. Color of insan means Allah. They have been created from a leech-like cloth. And if you carefully look at the shape of the leech-like cloth, it's a sperm, which was confirmed in the 17th century when the lunar discovered America. That means to say the science, it was an impulse to make all that at that time, also the Ashab Ikram, to go into the Quran in depth and to see that they established. And it is for that reason, science and technology is important, and that's why Quran gives a lot of importance backed up with the management. Management, when you are talking, is not, but you are there having a knowledge. But if your knowledge is not for the wisdom, and it is not for the betterment of humanity, it is not the knowledge, it is for the knowledge. So Quran speaks about the management of that house. So management is more important than your this one. Till when you are having it was there even second to Allah was even China. But it is not no use at all. So naturally when I am coming up this, all this I have been giving you how the importance of the knowledge and importance of the change happened. And as I told you, whenever you are talking about change, you, as I told you, and repeat again, change will not guarantee progress, but in progress, change becomes inevitable. And then what are the indicators of change? The indicators of the change is, if you are getting anxious, it is an indication of failure. If you are getting excited or you are bringing to change, then it is a what you call it as the success. So what are the three types of the changes? The changes you are talking about is change in attitude, change in your mindset, change in your perception. I will not go much against much in detail about it. When you are talking about mindset, it's simple. I'll give a simple example and try to just make it come to the other aspect. You just go and talk to any person in the state who is very educated. What is India, you ask him. Generally, in the lighter way, he will say, oh, India. India is a country of 1.4 billion population with 1.4 billion problems. Am I right? This is a common thing. You are not the problem. This problem, that's not. But if you are talking of this one change in the mindset, you will have to have a positivism here. Negative aspects, there should be positivism. What is the positivism? India is a land of 1.4 billion human resources with 1.4 billion of opportunities. This is the change in the mindset. This is the change which you have to make. So if you want to go much of a change in your mindset, change in your attitude, attitude is what should be important. Not to give a reference, but it's not good, it's not applicable to the South Indian Muslims. But in North India, with Akheel Singh was addressing on Aligarh University graduation, he mentioned in Urdu, he was reading his graduation day addressing Urdu. There are three characteristic features of Muslims. One is history, musty, and Zabardasti. That should not happen. So this is changing your attitude. And not a change in your perception. Changing your perception refers to that we have to be the best because the Quran has given to us to be the best. So we have to be within the framework of Islam, Quranic doctrine. We will have to do the best because we are the one, we have conquered the world, 2/3 of the year in the short period of 60 years. Well, the last one aspect is globalization. The concept of globalization, if you talk of starting from other Islam, I know everyone knows about it. Anybody who can tell me who is the founder of Islam? Who is the founder of Islam? No, who is the founder of Islam? Wait, why are others so silent? Ahmed Salam is the founder, please remember, Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the seal of the Prophet, he is the Rahmatul Alameen. And he is the Khatamul Nabeen. And it is for that reason, the work of the Nabuwa, where you see the Kuntum Muqtatul Bina Sita Maruna bin Maruki or Tanona bin Mukurukum in Nabilat, we have to do the job of the Nabis because of our intellectual perception and intellectual capabilities almost done. Please remember, every prophet, every Nabi, and every Paramount was advanced in science and technology for leadership. And now the common man is having so much that you have to do this thing. That's why the Quran speaks about the perfect, and afterward there will be no one word in addition, nor it will be deleted, Nauzubillah, you will have to just follow it history. Globalization is a concept which was first brought with the Muslims. Nowhere though the Quran speaks about the Muslim, any person who surrenders to the will of God is a Muslim. Of course, the word Islam comes from the word Salama, starting from the Hazrat Ibrahim Salam and the sacrifice of Ismail Salam, but not go much into detail, everyone knows about it. Then you will see that if you are talking of it, nowhere in the whole of the Quran it talks about Rabbil Muslimin, it is Rabbil Alameen. That refers to the globalization. Rabbil Alameen, it doesn't is confined to only one set, one region, one clan, or one community, or one nation. So the concept of the globalization has already been established. Only the thing is you have to break it. Terminology, the nomenclature will have changed, but the concept remains the same. All it is for 150 years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will not go on and on because 20 minutes we talked about it. Another 1 or 2 minutes I will complete it. That is the assignment of completing my job and assignment which I found to become a long way. Starting from the international level to the Asian level to the India level and ultimately to Islamic concepts and how we can correlate that with the NEP. And reimaging the NEP 2020, what we will have to do is we will have to take up only two things. One is innovation and entrepreneurship, which will have to follow strictly, whether it is implemented by the government or not. We can take it because it was not there, because they are already indicated in 1986 education policy, because we'll see the very important education policies which have been formulated in this country before the uh, independence. One is starting from 1882 and second was during the 1918 and third was 1944 and another one almost this one, but the latter part of this one, the first is the most important committee which we call it as the Radhakrishna report. The second is the Kothari, third is the National Policy on Education in 86 and Program of Action in 92 and then in 2020, but they have jumbled it up. They have imposed upon us and trying to bring their ideology which is not the desired position, and it doesn't suit to our ethnicity, it doesn't suit to our diversity which our country has, and it doesn't suit to our heritage, it doesn't suit to our culture, it doesn't suit to our thinking, and it doesn't suit to our harmony which this people have been staying together for thousands of years. Well, in the final, I would like to just quote, and one of the colleagues who had come to Bangalore, they had quoted one verse, and I will complete the three verse. मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल तलाश कर, मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल तलाश कर, मिल जाए कुछ तो दरिया को समंदर तलाश. See, this is the motivation which you have to actually message to carry back home. मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल तलाश कर, मिल जाए कुछ तो दरिया को समंदर तलाश कर. You have got ये almost equivalent to it. I'm satisfied. No, I don't want to. No. मंजिल से आगे बढ़कर मंजिल तलाश कर, मिल जाए कुछ तो दरिया को समंदर तलाश कर. Let please concentrate on this. हर शीशा टूट जाता है पत्थर की चोट से. हर शीशा टूट जाता है पत्थर की चोट से, पत्थर ही टूट जाए वो शीशा. And when I was just talking about Glocal and just please, I would like to draw the attention of the whole audience for this couplet. सदमान गुजर गई तेरे सजदे को क्या हुआ, सदमान गुजर गई तेरे सजदे को क्या हुआ, जिंदगी तेरी बदल गई वो सजदा तलाश. Well, thank you very much for the organizers, particularly secretary, correspondent, and including the principal and his colleague for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts to this august audience. Only to just take up my goal of this speech, I would like to bank upon the Robert Frost 4 lines. I think English lecturers are there. So Robert Frost was knowing the 4 lines which were very important, which were very dear to you, particularly puts a lovely dog in the but I have promises to the minds to go before I sleep, minds to go before I sleep. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir. Now we come to an end. I request Dr. Mohammed Wasim, the IPC coordinator, to kindly propose the word of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum. I take the privilege to propose a word of thanks to this august gathering. I thank the IPC cell of our college for organizing today's seminar on reimaging higher education in the 2020. At the outset, I extend my gratitude to our most honorable and respected Secretary of the College for his inspirational role in organizing today's seminar. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our most respected principal, who is the stimulating and motivating force for all work activities in the campus. I now extend my gratitude and thanks to our most distinguished and most honorable speakers and resource person for today's event, Professor Syed and former Vice Chancellor, Yenepoya and local universities, Mysore, Karnataka, for sharing his insights and knowledge and for his vast knowledge on Islam and his diverse knowledge on different aspects of life. I thank you, sir, for your extensive speech, and definitely we will inculcate and develop change in our life for the betterment of education and for the betterment of the society. I thank you, sir. I know I extend my thanks to all the activities and people of organizations, more private members extending your support information. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.